Good morning and welcome to the Inside Edge. It is Friday, January 31st. And it was 25 years ago tomorrow, February 1st of 2000, that I launched Politics NJ. It was New Jersey's first online news site. The internet was the Wild West in those days. And I had an idea that maybe people interested in politics and government wanted to get their news right away and not wait until the next morning when the Star Ledger and other daily newspapers, there were 17 daily newspapers in New Jersey back then, and they really didn't update their website more than once a day in the morning after the papers came out. And I guess the truth is I got lucky. We built a better mousetrap before the legacy media figured out that their hair was on fire. And I incredibly fortunate that we hired Steve Kornacki right out of college. There was a great stable of talent: Matt Friedman, Pizarro, Lieberman, James Pindle. When we opened up a Politics NH 2 years later, and I remember Mike Kelly, the Bergen Records, said during those early days that the internet was just a fad and that people would always get their news from newspapers. Uh, Now the New Jersey Globe is 7 years old. We launched it on January 4th, 2018, and I am just so incredibly grateful to our readers. In journalism, there's definitely a if a tree falls in the woods thing going on, and as many of you remember, 2018, I was sort of dead on the side of the road. Thanks for that, Christopher. So I'm just especially appreciative for the second chance to do this, and it affirms, this belief that we are living in interesting times. On Sunday, the Star Ledger will publish its last newspaper. This is a news organization that traces its roots back to 1832. I mean, they covered the presidential election between Andrew Jackson and Henry Clay. And now on Sunday, they are shutting their doors for good. And that saddens me and a lot of people. But the failure of the Star Ledger and others doesn't surprise me. We've seen it coming. They've had 2 decades of compounding failures. They buried their head in the sand. They had severe cutbacks. They dramatically reduced their workforce of journalists. They made what I think are bad decisions. They decided that they care more about pizza and bagels than covering local news. And now they're essentially just bloggers. The term, self-righteous people like Tom Moran used to throw out there to make himself feel superior. Now Tom is unemployed. I mean, imagine that. And and in the passing of the torch on Sunday, just a couple hours after the Ledger prints its last paper, the New Jersey Globe will host the first gubernatorial debate. Yeah, imagine that. And that's all I have for today. I will be back on Monday. Please don't miss the Democratic debate on Sunday night at 7 p.m. And thank you, New Jersey, for everything.